There we go. So I'm planning on talking to David sometime tonight. He said it seems like we had a hard time to use Google Hangouts. Yeah, I don't know your original name. I think it's Pilgrim1611 or something like that. I could find you that way. You can find me, Yusuf Reyes. I actually typed out how to spell it in the thing. I commented on your comment. So just in case, go through and answer a few of these things. But I live in another time zone. Everybody on here lives in a different time zone that I interact with. No, not. I would just search the name, just Cristera Warrior. No, Yusuf Reyes. YUSUF space REYES Reyes. Like Joseph King's. Yusuf Reyes. Either way, I've just written this so far for now. I also have another novel for you to read. Got a couple novels that I think you'd dig. Sometimes you misread what I wrote. I did not write Buddhists do not believe in super beings. I wrote that they did what though? I mean, they still do have gods, and many of them have a afterlife, which is, you know, a no-no in Theravada Buddhism, or at least what is claimed to be the original Buddhism, even though most Buddhists are Hinayana. If your position is simply that today it is very likely for atheists to come out of the West, then that is the reason. They will most likely have the ethics that are similar to Christian ethics. And of course, I would agree. Yeah, not only that, but also the fact that there's some philosopher that actually wrote that Christianity is the religion. Christianity was created to make people atheists. But yeah, that's definitely true, and that there's a lot of subconscious parts to religion too. And people think, well, my morals are my own, my ethics are my own, my culture is my own, my view of myself is my own. No, it's not. It has to do with the society and the family that you're raised in, and their views. So I would agree, but also the fact that the universe can be studied, that the universe, all the laws of thermodynamics and everything, before paganism around, you were not allowed to study nature, right? It was a blasphemy, or at least black magic at worst, but or at best, but at worst it was black magic. But as soon as you had a God that created everything and stepped back, then the machinery of the universe was, as Paul says, the fingerprints of God. So it led to the modern sciences as we know it. If your position is that today it is very likely for an atheist to come out of the West, okay. I thought you wanted to say that anyone at any moment in time who was an atheist would have no alternative, despite either having the ethics of a Christian or none at all, or just bad ethics. Well, those are certainly three options, right? But no, I didn't expect, an ancient Syrian who cried out to the heavens saying there is no God. And by ancient Syrian, I'm speaking about, 7,000 years ago. Uh, not labeling him a Christian, right? And to that I would absolutely disagree. Good, as you should. If you ask the question, why is XYZ wrong, you already assume that X, Y, and Z are wrong, or they're wrong as answers, or maybe there's a way you can get them in order. I used to work in technical repair, so it's usually the person, not the equation nor the machinery that's screwed up. Sorry, kind of an inside joke there. While you seem to also think that forbidding X, Y, and Z are Christian rules, I don't know. You'd have to clarify more. You mean like the Protestant idea of the rapture? It's not found in the Bible. It's heresy. The the planetary flood is also not within Scripture, and it was at a point where the Roman Catholic Church denounced it like hundreds of years ago, and then with evolution and the Big Bang, the Catholic Church, again, over 100 years ago, wanted to make both of them immediately dogma because it was the Big Bang. George Lemaitre, a Catholic priest, discovered the Big Bang. Knew it had to be there because of theological the theological argument of the cosmological argument of the theological arguments for God. So he wound up basically proving it, and the Pope wanted to make it a dogma, and he said, we shouldn't make it a dogma. But yeah, the Big Bang and evolution stuff is stuff that Roman Catholics accept. As for the Orthodox, we don't really care unless it affects Christology. So maybe that might be the stuff you're referring to, what I defend the Roman Catholics on. If I bought all those premises, then obviously couldn't come to another conclusion, and that I had nothing but Christian set of ethics. If you grew up in the West, right, and you believe dialogue and discussion is the best way to resolve a problem, and that I should listen to your argument, you should listen to mine, and that violence is not acceptable only in the extreme cases, like self-defense or, war, and that the charity is a good thing, and hospitals are a good thing, helping out the weak, things like this, even just everyday concern for your fellow man. That's very, 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 very Christian. It was an oddity in ancient Rome and Greece and ancient Egypt and ancient Babylon, ancient Persia. But the difference between killing and murder, let's say, is not that easy made. Yeah, it is. I think the difference between killing and murder is very easy. It's not that easy as you made it by simply saying, "Oh, I meant murder, not killing." How do you define murder? Unjust killing. As unjust killing? Yeah, okay. Yeah, unjust killing. Like, murder would be, killing somebody for revenge or no reason at all, or money, or just killing somebody, right? Now, if you kill in self-defense, or you kill somebody who is about to kill somebody else, then no, it's not murder. It's self-defense or defense of the public. Then you already propose some idea that is just, yeah. Therefore, you already have an outspoken premise that we need to clarify and check where exactly in would you set the border between just killing and unjustified killing, because it would not be necessary to ever call the death penalty bad. Yeah, death penalty is bad. It's evil. I believe the implementation of the death penalty is horrible. I think it's an abomination and a crime against man. I've always staunchly been against the death penalty. Horribly. I think it's a despicable thing. I can think of several situations in which killing somebody might be the best thing to do. I can think of a bunch of them, except there's a lot of innocent people that die. The waiting period is like 13 to 20 years sometimes. And the politics that gets involved is just disgusting, even as a rule. So I don't mean I do not have Christian ethics as. So does that mean I do not have Christian ethics as an atheist? No, you can't escape your Christian ethics, really. Or do we call the rules of the Old Testament Christian ethics? No, we don't. So the death penalty is still a Christian rule. No. I mean, it says that the government, which was pagan at the time, was given the sword to wield it, for justice. But no. I'll get into that in the next video. Basically, it's because you also have to understand the Mosaic law of when it was supposed to be practiced, how long it was supposed to be practiced, when it was supposed to stop being practiced. Death penalty in practice, totally against it. If somebody were to horribly harm one of my nieces, God help them, because they will meet a fate so torturous that they would be begging for hell.